Earlier, I had given copies of the proclamation and executive order to both Senate President Jovito Salonga and Speaker Pro Tempore Tony Cuenco. So I would like to read a statement to all of you. We have discussed and debated the issues for longer than any of us care to recall at this time. The time is up. A decision has been made. Before announcing it formally at this meeting, let me reiterate the principles of my idea of agrarian reform. Agrarian reform is a means, one of many, to the highest aim I have set my administration, the elimination of poverty by putting the Filipino to productive work that will pay him a decent livelihood. The objective is higher productivity and higher incomes for as many Filipinos as quickly as possible. The prosperity and well-being, not necessarily the equality of all, is our aim. That is why I have said that agrarian reform cannot merely subdivide the present miseries on the land. It must effect a substantial improvement. The key, therefore, is the creation of wealth in agriculture, which is the main feature of our economy. By that creation, we hope to establish a firm foundation for the industrialization of our country that can alone assure its final and genuine independence and a sustained improvement in the lives of our people. The discussions during the preparation of this program have convinced me that the Constitution was wise to provide for the common counsel of executive and legislature in the full implementation of agrarian reform in our country. The proclamation and executive order go as far as the Constitution and a sense of realism allow me. In this proclamation and order, the executive has said the final word. What remains now is for you, my extensions and instrumentalities, to carry out the law as therein set forth. The discussion here in this branch is over. The real work begins. I want to thank all those who were principally involved in this project for their dedication and hard work, for that combination of passionate commitment and intellectual acuity that have left their marks, I believe, for the better, in these laws that I shall sign today. I wish to thank all of you. There are 10 salient features of the program. Number one, it follows the Constitution by covering all public and private agricultural lands, including, whenever applicable in accordance with law, other lands of the public domain, that is, forest lands, suitable to agriculture. Number two, its implementation is subject to priorities and retention limits that Congress may prescribe as stated by the Constitution. Three, the rights of the beneficiaries start only from the time of the award. Those who prematurely enter the land to avail themselves of rights and benefits will be permanently disqualified from receiving such rights and benefits. I felt it was very necessary to impose sanctions on those who may prematurely avail themselves of the rights and benefits of the land, because many people have told me that some are already telling others to immediately occupy the land. And the last thing we need is disorder. And so this is one of the main points, perhaps, that I would like all of you to point out. This was also brought to my attention by Noel Soriano after one of their crisis committee meetings. 4, registration statements are required from all persons who own, lease, or manage agricultural lands to be completed in 180 days after the EO takes effect. 5, landowners are fairly compensated in 10% cash and 90% balance in land bank bonds, payable in 10 years, bearing market rates of interest, but subject to withholding tax. 6, farmers' beneficiaries are allowed affordable payment over 30 years, each yearly payment in no case to go beyond 10% of the gross production of the land. If it does, the obligation will be reduced to meet this limit. 7, production sharing of 2.5% of gross production is mandated for persons owning lands with gross sales in excess of 5 million pesos. When I met with the landowners, I had asked them specifically what it is that they could do in the meantime in order to improve the livelihood of the people working in their farms. And this was one of the offers given to me, so now this is being mandated by the EO. 8, corporate landowners are allowed a stock distribution program which may be held to comply with the program if approved by the Presidential Agrarian Reform Council. 9, the Presidential Agrarian Reform Council is set up to coordinate and implement the program together with the Department of Agrarian Reform and at the barangay level, the Barangay Agrarian Reform Council. Number 10, an agrarian reform fund is set up at 50 billion pesos from 1987 to 1992 with a supplement of 2.7 billion pesos for 1987. I specifically asked Chairman Ramon Diaz if PCGG indeed could give us the initial 2.7 billion, and he assures me that this is ready. So what I would like to ask of all of you now is I will sign this document, and I expect everybody here to support this. Whatever differences we have, I think we should all just lay that aside because we have a very important program here, and I need the support of everybody, and especially the members of the Cabinet. I think it goes without saying that if anybody here cannot live with this document, then either he keeps quiet or perhaps resigns from the Cabinet. I'm making this very clear because we cannot afford any dissensions at this point.